Hey, welcome back to another episode of Talk Time with Yazzy. I believe this is episode 5.
Yes, it is.
Um, I just want to say it ain't just me here, but the one and only Yazzy Yaz. And of course, the biggest, the best, la
Hey,
la.
use your tongue.
Okay? I was about to say, use your tongue, la la.
Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. How y'all doing? How
Yes,
you doing,
ma'am.
Yazzie? How you doing?
I'm great. Thank you. How are you? How are you?
I'm well. I'm better today. I done got my dose of Yazzie, so I'm good.
I know that's right. Hello. I'm gonna get a shirt that says a dose of Yazzie, okay? If y'all know how to make shirts, hit me up.
That's it.
Okay. So today's episode is just gonna be a mental health check-in. What we're gonna
Correct.
take.
Shout out to King of Reeds. We know that's his thing, so shout out to King of Reeds for just putting that out to the culture that we all need to do a mental health check-in once in a while.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like just today we wanted to like dive into like I guess the overall agenda is like how people are protecting their peace in a world full of like negativity and endless scrolling on social media. So, does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, okay. So, just to start it off, I'm going to say like our first question is how are you really doing today? Just like with us, just to have our own like check in mental health. So, I'll have you answer first.
I mean, I'm okay. You know, I could be better. Life is life, and right now I got, kid was in an accident. Another kid burned his hand. And, another kid got suspended. So I'm just dealing with life things, and learning that juggle balance of work and life is can be hard. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm okay and I'm great. I'm also going into another, getting another, stream of income. So that's tasking as well. But
Blessing, blessing.
yeah, but I'm okay. I'm good. I could be better, but I'm good and I'm juggling and balancing as much as I can.
Okay, okay. I love to
And What,
hear it.
what about you? What about you?
Me personally, I'm doing good. I'm trying to stay optimistic, trying to count my blessings, especially in a world where it's like one thing can happen and you're like, dang, why me?
Hmm.
So I'm just trying to obviously, stay consistent on the little things that I do have that can turn into bigger things. I'm getting excited for my move, so just trying to like not
Bear,
start
bear,
to
bear.
stress out, right? Meow, meow, meow. Moving on up. Try not to stress out about that, but I'm doing good. I'm doing great. So yeah,
Good.
just
That's good.
yes, absolutely. Um, but let's dive on into it. So the next question I want to ask is, what's one emotion you felt the most this week? For instance, like joy, anxiety, boredom, like peace. If you could like sum it up so far, what would you say like overall? What's one emotion you have felt the most?
Over like emotion. Um, I would say anxiety and probably just feeling overwhelmed.
Okay.
And I'm not really like the typical anxiety filled person.
Hmm.
But like I said, when I feel like all these back to back things that have been going on in my life,
Yeah.
it's really been like, oh my goodness, like when is the ball gonna drop? Like the ball's got to drop, like it's gonna drop.
Right.
Something else is gonna happen. So just anxiety. And I've been trying my best to pour into me
Right.
and also praise me. Like, hey, you're only one person. You
Right.
can, you know what I mean. So I've been trying to tell myself that like you're doing the best that you can. You're doing better than most people have done for the children that you have. Like you
Right.
just need to, and I've it's a lot of pep talking this week to myself.
And you know what? That's something good that you mentioned actually is just talking to yourself and like having that moment to give yourself a pep talk because I feel like a lot of people are like associate talking with yourself as like a form of like craziness or like whatever, you know.
Hmm.
But like I'm always talking to myself, either like calming myself down, lifting myself up. Like if I'm taking a selfie, I'm definitely having myself up before I take that picture. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
it's like and it shines through in the photo. You can tell the difference. I don't know if other people can, but I can. I can look at a selfie and be like, oh, I know I gassed myself up before I took that photo. You know?
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
that makes a lot of sense.
So let me just say, ain't nothing wrong with talking, to yourself a little bit. But nonetheless, my one emotion would probably have to be, um, dang, I say like you said, anxiety is pretty good. Um, maybe just like stress for me is my one emotion. Um, and that's something like I've learned is that like sometimes I'm just like go go go, and then it hits me, and I'm like, dang. Like you said, like overwhelmed. I'm like, dang, I'm overwhelmed right now. Like I'm stressed out, and I don't be feeling it until like my body tells me. And I want to
Mhm.
get better at being like, okay, let me sense the warnings before I'm like, my body is physically like either getting sick or
Mhm.
like, you know what I mean? Like, or literally like not wanting to move type thing or like, so I want to get better at like, even if it's just something small, like, okay, let me go for a walk and let me do something for myself
Yeah.
and making time for myself. So that's why I thought it was like a really good choice for us to focus on mental health this week just in general.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree. And it was what you were saying is like pouring into yourself, taking that time, finding out what works for you and your mental health. And that could be, like you said, walking. We literally just walked with the kids the other day. And I was like, this is really nice. Like I needed this. Like the kids rode their bikes and I was walking. Now there was some stressful moments because don't go in the street.
Right, right, right.
But it also, I mean, even the kids when we came home and it was time for bath time, they were more calm
Oh, okay.
because it wasn't just like a hustle bustle, get in the house, take your shoes off, get take a shower, get ready for bed. It was more like, hey, let's take a walk. Then we came in, they were even got some of their energy out. So yeah, taking those little times, even if sometimes you can't do it by yourself.
Right.
Sometimes you got to do it with a group.
For
But
sure.
taking that time and a breather of not like hustle and bustle, but just checking in with yourself.
And then I like how it was just like y'all going for a walk because it's like I feel like being where we are and it being so hot and stuff, I always allow that to be like, nah, it's too hot. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm trying to do more things like, okay, even if I don't want to go outside, like putting on a video and like working out or like
Mm-hmm.
putting on music and like diving within each other because it doesn't necessarily always have to be like a physical doing something
Right.
physical for your mental health. So like last night we were asking like each other deep questions and we had music in the background. So I felt like that was like really nice to also like just check in with like your partner, significant other, or just yourself. So that was like something that we did and I was like, "Oh, I want to try to do something at least once a day to check in with myself or even just like each other."
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense. Like you said, in the group, in your house, we do it. I try to do it at least once every couple of weeks, even with the kids. Like, hey, how are y'all doing? Because they can feel my energy.
Yeah.
So like, hey, what am I doing? Have I did something? Have I, I'm not perfect. I'd
Yeah.
be like, come on, get your stuff. We gotta go. Well, Lala, there's things you can do to prevent that. Like get
Right.
your butt up on time.
Right.
And then you ain't stressing the house out and everybody running out with an attitude.
That's
So
true.
just checking in with them. And they'll tell me, Mom, you were loud that day, or Mom, you woke us up late. And sometimes I'll be like, excuse me? But
Right. Learning to take that feedback.
right. But it's like I want them to be able to give me feedback in a
Yeah.
positive manner and not feedback when they pissed off
Yeah.
or say something crazy and now we got an issue. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
So checking in from you to even the little people because they feel what you feel,
Yeah.
even though they don't know how to express it or they don't say anything in the moment. Just checking in with everyone that lives in your surroundings and your household is important.
And you know what? I feel like being around children is a great way to like humble yourself and realize that because I don't have any kids of my own, but I do, I'm a nanny and I like babysit and stuff like that. And like when I am around the kids, like sometimes I use like big languages and then I'm like, okay, I gotta say it in the like kid friendly grammar type of way that they would understand.
Mm-hmm.
But then like it's kind of like how you were saying right now, just like you adjust yourself to that so they'll be able to understand you. But then when it comes to them like trying to communicate and be like, well, this is my boundary or like this is what you
Mm-hmm.
need to work on, then it's like it is always that like, well, who are you? Like you a child saying a child's place.
Right, right.
And I'm learning to be like, especially because it's like it's not my own kids, and I've always been around like seeing people raise their own children. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
that mentality is different when it's like, okay, like I'm actually let me take a second because I'm not in a rush. I'm literally getting paid to listen to this child, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I'll just be sitting there sometimes and I'm like, well, how is your day? Like, what's going on? And, those kids, they go.
Yes.
If you give them an inch, they will take a mile
Yes, they
and tell
will.
you all the tea. Or even be like, my doll is acting up. I'm like, what? Don't you control the doll? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? So it's definitely humbling, and that's a great way to like just learn from yourself,
Yes.
um, for sure.
They
But
actually they listen. So, and I'm just and the little people in your life listen, and they hear everything you say. Because even the other day when we were like, I don't want to get a take for a walk, and my little one was like, "That's task avoiding,"
oh my gosh,
and she's 4. And I'm like, "What? I just need to throw some clothes in the laundry first, and maybe and do that." And she's like, "That isn't that what you call task avoiding?" And I'm like, you're right.
oh,
Get my shoes, please."
that is hilarious. Yes, the kid I babysit this morning, I was getting him ready for school, and he's like, I'm exhausted. I'm like, that's a big word for you. Like, I'm not even mad at you right now. Like, what? Yeah, so
Hmm.
that is hilarious. Oh my God. Well, the last question I just want to like end us with, because this was just like one of our getting the videos out there. We're going to be trying to stay consistent and getting posting every Wednesday. But before I close out, the last question I want to ask is, do you notice like your mood shift after scrolling through like social media? And if so, like what emotions come up the most?
I think one was the understanding that everybody's For You page or what comes up for you is different, right? And it's setting it to what you like. Like mine was a lot of, at first it was a lot of, I want to know what's going on in the world, and when I was watching those, it was making me unhappy. It was even putting me in like they're like even like I say, more anxiety, and like I'm not an anxiety filled person, but it just driving, there's an accident and the kid got snatched and those things. It's like I realized that that's not healthy for me
Right,
because I have so many kids going to different places. There's 6 of us, so everybody disperses in the morning.
right,
And I realized that when I'm watching the news feed, that makes me like, oh my goodness, let me call the school. Oh my goodness, did JoJo get to work? Oh my goodness, like calling all around to check on all my babies and stuff. And that just is a lot. So I've had to remove that, what I mean? Keep a couple of things so I know what's going on in the world, but kind
right.
of remove the major feeds of the daily news all the time. But when I normally scroll on my page, it keeps me motivated because the mind is like, fixing your home, ways to make different lunches for the kids. So it keeps me motivated on like wanting to do better.
Okay,
Finding exercises, doing exercises that I can do for my size, right? Because the exercise that can work for somebody that's 120 pounds ain't gonna work for these thick thighs. Okay,
okay, but they will
so
save lives. No, I'm kidding. Yes,
so I've been catering my page to me,
yeah.
and I only use YouTube. When a woman of a particular age, we ain't gonna
Oh
go there again,
God.
but but
Yes.
it's like but just making it cater to me, so it sends those good endorphins that I need.
Okay, so you would
uh
say like, yeah, it's built around good energy to make you feel good and
right.
uplift you. And so, okay.
Hmm.
Um I would agree. That's like how mine is. I see like when I'm looking at other people's For You page or algorithm, I'm like, dang, like this is sad. Like this is, you know what I mean? And like they'll send me something and I'm like, nah, you ain't about to mess up my algorithm. Cause my stuff is very like, I saw this one motivation, like those TED Talks, and you know how people are like, "Oh my god." No, I don't know which one it is. I think it has Samuel L. Jackson. No,
Hmm.
I don't know. It's one of them. One of them. I gotta find it. But it's like he's literally giving the motivation. Like he's like, it starts today. Like one of those videos.
Hmm.
And it's like
Hmm.
it changes with what you watch. And so after that, I was like, you know what? Let me just start looking up on my TikTok, looking up on my Facebook, like all this type of stuff. And then it started changing. And then I had like good energy, like healing this. Oh, how to have what to do with self healing and how, you know what I mean? And so it just
Mhm.
like changed overnight. And after that, I was like, yes, so I agree with you. Like my For You page is definitely built around it. It has humor. I don't really see a lot of the things that are going on in the world. And so that is something that I feel like I did unintentionally like muted and removed from my like social media. But that is something I want to like work on bringing back partially and learning what is like a good news source to have where it's like not really the bias and all of that,
Mhm.
especially in the world today. So if
Right.
y'all know some good news sources that y'all can recommend, put it down in the comments below. We will peep it, look it out, and figure it out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, but
But
yeah,
that's good though. I think yeah, like everything has to be catered in a world where there's so much going on. The things that are for you is for you. Your peace, your home, that's where you have your peace at. Because it's definitely not in the world. You know
right.
what I mean? And even letting that into your phone. You have to control your peace. And sometimes that's hard to do. But when you sit down and buckle down and say, this is what I need to do for my household, this
Yep.
is how, and sometimes that's saying no.
Yep.
No, we're not going.
Yep.
No, we're not doing those things. We're at home this weekend. You
Yep.
know, my kids like that where we're just checking in with each other. We're gonna watch Wednesday this week and we
Right.
this weekend, and this is what we're doing as a family. Like I said, because that's your peace.
Yeah.
The first place that you can guarantee is peace is in your home.
Yeah.
So on that note, guys, keep peace in your home and your heart, and keep checking in mentally with the people around you and yourself.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I agree. Check in with your peoples. Keep the peace in your home. And with that, we're about to be closing out. I do want to leave some questions for people to answer in the comments below. One of them is going to be, what is one thing you've done this week that made you feel at peace? Like you said, it can be in home, outside of home. Just let us know so other people can use that for examples. And then just one more last thing. Do you think social media is more harmful or helpful for your personal mental health? Just so we can have a little debate going on in the comments.
Yeah, let's see. Please talk back to us, get back to us your anything, the ideas you have for the show, anything, and feedback on what we are talking about today. And if we wrong, and if you have something like, please, we can go back and forth and talk. This is a conversation. It's definitely not a debate, but a conversation between everyone. So please, everyone, give us your feedback. We appreciate it.
Yes. And with that, I want to say we wrapping it up. Thank you for hanging out with Yazzy Yaz and
La la.
hold your tongue. Ah, I'm just kidding. Okay. Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.